Hello and welcome to my little YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna do a 200-hour service on my Yamaha Outboard engine, and it's not gonna be the shortest version. I'm gonna go pretty in-depth with this one. I'm gonna do the following: change the gear oil and the engine oil and the filter and the anodes and the impeller. And one last thing I think people often forget is there's some points where you have to use a grease gun. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. And if you already know some of those steps, you can just skip around in this video. So the F80, the F100 and the F150 is basically the same engine. The 115 is a bit different in the valve system, but otherwise you can use this video for all three. Alright, the first thing you want to do is to warm the engine. Old engine oil have the tendency for all the small flakes and microscopic debris to stick to the bottom. You can see that if you keep your old oil in a oil pan for a few days. You can see the bottom is very dirty, and the same applies to an engine. So you want to start up by heating up the engine, get all those small particles circulating. That way they will drain with the oil. So, and now I said it was the first thing you want to do. Actually, number one, get a beer. Number two, read the manual, and then heat your engine up and get the oil temperature up and running. Alright, the engine has been running for 5 minutes. And one other thing you can check while it's in idle, the idle should be at the right RPMs, about 800 revolutions, and it should be smooth. The engine should not be shaking too much or be too rough in the idle. Then there are other issues you should look into. So when you're warming it up for the first time in the spring, check the idle is where it should be. Alright, it's time to extract the old oil. There are two ways to do that. One with the drain plug, as usual, and there's the other method by using an oil extractor. And I'm actually going to use this extractor today. There's nothing much to say about that, other than when you use the drain plug, remember to replace the washer. It's made out of a soft metal like alloy or copper or something like that, and you can only use them once. So change the washer when using the drain plug. Just give it a few pumps and it will get the fluids going. Simply just put the drain tube from the oil extractor down where the dipstick goes, and make sure it goes all the way to the bottom. Right, and when changing the oil filter, put a bit of oil on the rim here. These are actually pre-lubricated. This just hand tighten it, no tools, and remove the oil from the gearbox by draining it here. So let's see. It's wet perfectly, and you can undo the upper one for the flow to increase. Like this. Perfect. And you can actually see there's a little magnet here, and there is not much, but if there's a lot of metal flakes here, you should probably look into that, but this one looks perfectly fine. You should also change the washers on the fill cap and the drain plug for your gearbox. And take a look at the oil you've just drained from the gearbox. It should look dark like this. If it's white or milky, it means there is water in it, which again means that a gasket or seal is letting water into the gearbox. And as the oil drains from the gearbox, you can fill up fresh oil. This particular engine takes 3.2 liters of oil, but check your dipstick to be sure. Alright, it's time for some new gear oil and as you go here, you know, the fill port is actually made in the level where the oil should be, so you don't need any dipstick or a certain amount. You just keep filling until it drains out the fill port. And these models take about 750 milliliters of gear oil. Alright, it's time to change the impeller, and yeah, I'm gonna remove the lower unit, and I always mark my screws so the same screw go in the same hole. And actually there's one hidden screw, and it's not just... And remember to disattach the little hose in the front of the lower unit. And remove the 4 screws from the impeller housing, and then you will be able to gently remove it. And pay especially attention to in which way the blades on the impeller is oriented, so the new one will go on the same way as the old one. And now you can ply off the locking ring with a flat-headed screwdriver, but be a bit gentle, the inner ring is made out of plastic. Here we have the old one. You can actually see the wear here. This is 200 hours. And the new one, which looks, yeah, brand spanking new. Clean it all up. I think every other time you should actually change the gaskets as well. This one seems there's no significant grooves in this one, so I think it will be just fine. Right, use a bit of silicone spray to make this much easier. I've seen people use grease and stuff like that, you know, but you don't want to do that because that may clog up your entire cooling system. So use a few drops of silicone spray, so that will do the trick. Now there's only left to grease the axle here. And I will prepare the threads with a bit of white grease, so I also can loosen them in a couple of gears. Make sure that the little gear rod is also in place. And alright, as you already have tilted your motor all the way up, there are some things down here you can actually do. You have these small grease nibbles. Don't know if you can see that. I hope so. And you know, you need a grease gun for those. And maybe you should check the level on your trim oil. There are one underneath and two at the front of the engine where the engine pivots. And I don't know if you can see it when I'm pumping, you know, it's squeezing out water and old oil out of the joint. Both ends. Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about anodes and how to change them and what to look for and where they are placed. And I think we should start up by checking out where they are located on the engine. First of all, we got the main one here in the bottom, and we got this trim and tilt unit, and make sure to reattach this cord. That makes sure that the anode is there to protect that as well. And then we got a few in the cooling system. First one is here, and the second one is here, and the third one is right next to the belt up here. Right there. And actually there's a hidden one, and I'm not sure I need to change it. I would check out the other ones first before taking the lower unit fairing apart right here. But you have to undo that screw and that screw. That way you can take off this plastic fairing. And right here in the leg there's another one. But let's check out the first couple or three and see how they are doing. Okay, I should maybe explain why these anodes are there in the first place. This material, zinc, corrodes easier than alloy, so they will corrode before the engine does it. It's some chemistry and some electrodes and stuff like that. I will not go into details with that, but I've pulled one out, and compared to a new one, they're not halfway gone yet, so I think I will change them next year. And one last thing, don't handle these with oily or greasy hands. That way you will actually rust proof them, and that's not the effect you are looking for here. So small detail, but nonetheless important. And you have to reuse this stainless steel bracket on the back, so don't throw that away. Now to the fuel filter. It was pretty tight, so I cheated and loosened it a bit. But I got my small fuel filter. Actually, I think it needs changing. It looks a bit dirty. That's surprisingly, actually. But yeah, good thing you check. And changing spark plugs is a science on its own, and I will not go into depth with that. But take them out and compare them to a spark plug diagnostic sheet. That way you can see if they're okay. I would recommend that you change them at least at every 400 hours, or if the idle is rough. And they should be tightened with 25 Newton meter. One last thing, you know, in order for all your engine to look nice and shiny and be able to undo the screws and take the cables, use some silicone spray. There are a lot of different brands out there. Yamaha makes one. I use one from Motip, but give it a light spray and it will look shiny next year. And one last thing, I usually do these videos in Danish. I'm from Denmark, and English is clearly not my first language, so please bear with me. And but English is not the easiest language to master. I mean, take this one for example. What do you call that? It's a kind of a flute made to warn other boats in foggy weather. What do you call it? Fuck flute, foggy flute, foghorn. I mean, why do we have the same word for intercourse and shitty weather? You guys should look into that. Well, that's it for today. I hope this video has been helpful, and sorry for all the background noises. It was a very busy day at the marina, and once again, thank you very much for tuning into my channel. See you out there.